Hello, dear students. My name is Bankeshwar Panigrahi, Faculty BCA, CKT Mahavidyalaya. Today, we are going to discuss about communication processors. So, in our topic, we have to cover what is communication processor, what is multiplexing, what is multiplexer, and what are the types of multiplexing. So, in our previous sessions, we have discussed so far about the topologies and introduction to communication systems. So today we have start communication processor. So first we go for what is communication. As I have told in my previous sessions, communication means exchanging of information between two nodes or two computers is known as communication. So next we may go for another word, that is what is processor. It is a device. By using that device, we can execute our computer programs are known as processors. So processor means it has the ability to process something. So in the data communication, the task of the network designers is to select and coordinates the network components. So what is the task of network designers? They coordinates and selects the network components so that the necessary data are placed to the right place as the right time with a minimum number of errors and at the lowest possible cost. So again, so what is the task of network designers? They coordinates and selects the network components so that the necessary data should be placed at the right destination place in the right time with minimum number of errors and at the lowest possible cost. Apart from that, a number of communication processors is used by the network designers to achieve their goals. So what their goal? Their goal is to transmit the data from the source location to the destination location in right time, in as well as minimum number of errors and at the lowest possible cost. So these are the goals of a network designers to transmit the message from one location to another location. So the functions of some of the commonly used communication processors are: first, we have discussed about multiplexing. So these are the common functions. What? Multiplexing. So we may go for multiplexing. So what is multiplexing? It is a set of technique that allows the simultaneous transmission of the multiple signals across the single data link or communication channel. Again, what is multiplexing? It is the set of technique that allows the simultaneous transmission of the multiple signals across the single data link or communication channel. So we go for the notes. So what is multiplexing? Multiplexing is a technique used to combine and send the multiple data streams over a single medium. So here medium means it is transmission medium. The process of combining the data streams is known as multiplexing, and hardware used for multiplexing is known as a multiplexer. So the process of combining the data streams. So whatever the user wants to send from one location to another location, the total number of data items are streamed together and they are known as multiplexing. And the hardware component, so it is the processor. In other words, we can say that it is a processor. The hardware component that are used to transmit the data streams from one location to another location, that is known as multiplexer. In shortcut form, we can also call it MUX. MUX. MUX means multiplexer. So next point is multiplexing is achieved by using a device called multiplexer. So multiplexing, it is a technique and it is achieved by a device or that is called as multiplexer. So what is the function of multiplexer? The function of multiplexer is that it combines n input lines to generate a single output lines. That means whatever the data sent by the sender, they are combined into a single output line or single form, then it can transmit. So who can resemble it into streams resemble it into a single unit bound? The multiplexer done that function. So what is the function of multiplexer? It combines n input lines to generate a single output line. So multiplexing follows many to one, that is n input lines and one output line. So the basic function is it receives n input lines from the sender end and it combines it into a single output line. It is the function of multiplexer. So next is, what is demultiplexing? So multiplexing is done in the sender end. And what is demultiplexing? So demultiplexing is achieved by using a device called multiplexer. So demultiplexing is also known in shortcut form, that is DEMUX, DEMUX, as like multiplexer is known as MUX, as I have told in previously. So what is the function of DEMUX? Demultiplexer separates a signal into its component signals. Therefore, we can say that demultiplexing follows the one-to-many approach. One-to-many approach in the sense, whatever the multiplexer sends, that is a single output line, and when it reaches to the demultiplexer will separate again it into n number of output lines. That's why it is known as one-to-many. That's why it is known as one-to-many approach. One-to-many means it receives single output line and input line and it produces number of output lines. But in the multiplexer case, we have seen that it receives n number of input lines and it produces one output line. That's why that is called as many to one, and demultiplexer is known as one-to-many approach. So next topic is why we are using multiplexing. The transmission medium is used to send the signal from sender to receiver. So in our previous session, we have discussed so far what is the function of transmission medium. So transmission medium carries the data from sender to the receiver. The medium can only have one signal at a time. So the medium can only pass one signal at a time. If there are multiple signals to share one medium, then the medium must be divided in such a way that each signal is given some portion of the available bandwidth. So what is bandwidth? The inner area or the total area that having a transmission medium to transmit the data, that is called as bandwidth, or the inside area or the thickness of the transmission medium is called as bandwidth. For example, if there are 10 signals and bandwidth of medium is 100 units, then the 10 unit is shared by each signal. Next point is, when multiple signals share the common medium, there is a possibility of collision. Multiplexing concept is used to avoid such collision. So what do you mean by collision? Collision means accident. If multiple signals share the common medium, if here it means a single transmission medium is there. If we want multiple signals pass over the single transmission medium, then the multiple signals obviously they collide with each other and produces a faulty data. That's why we can follow a technique of multiplexing that avoids such type of collisions, or that will produce a individual line for each and every signal inside the transmission medium. Then it transmit that signals easily towards the receiver end. That is how we avoid such type of collision problem. So collision means nothing but it is accident. So this is the diagrammatic representation of multiplexer and multiplexing technique. So this is multiplexer. As I have told that it receives an input lines and produces one output line, and the function of demultiplexer is it receives one input line and it produces n output lines. This is one output line, this is another, and this is one input line, this is one input line, and this is one input line. So here we can consider that multiplexer is used in sender side and demultiplexer is used in receiver side. So here this is the link, or we can say it a transmission medium or communication channel. So this is the diagrammatic representation of multiplexer and demultiplexer. Next we will go for what is the advantages of multiplexing. So what are the advantages? It's given here. One by one we may go through it. More than one signal can be sent over a single medium, obviously, because multiplexing technique is it is capable of dividing one transmission medium into several lines. So that's why more than one signal can be sent over a single medium. Next one is the bandwidth of a medium can be utilized effectively. So what? The bandwidth of a medium can be utilized effectively. Next one is what is multiplexing technique and what are the different types of multiple techniques may follow while communication is going on. So different types of multiplexing techniques are there. They can be classified mainly into three types. They are known as frequency division multiplexing, wave division multiplexing, and time division multiplexing. So in shortcut form, we also termed as FDM, WDM, and TDM. So first we may go for what is FDM or frequency division multiplexing. So againly multiplexing technique can be classified into mainly three types. What are they? First one is frequency division multiplexing. Second one is wavelength division multiplexing. Third one is time division multiplexing. So first we may go for FDM. So what is FDM? The full form of FDM is frequency division multiplexing. So what is the function in FDM? In FDM, signals generated by each sending device modulate different carrier frequencies. These modulates signals are then combined into a single composite signal that can be transported by the link. Again, so what is FDM? In case of FDM, signals generated by each sending device modulate different carrier frequencies. These modulate signals are then combined into a single composite signal that can be transported by the link. That means whatever the signals are came into FDM, their frequencies are vary. Vary means one signal's frequency is not matched with another signal's frequency. So these vary frequencies are combined into a single composite signal that can be transported by the link. Here link means transmission medium. Why it is called as link? Because it establishes the path to transmit the message from sender end to receiver end or vice versa. So here it is another diagrammatic representation of classification of multiplexing: frequency division multiplexing, wave division multiplexing, and time division multiplexing, as I have told. So it is the diagrammatic representation of FDM. So here three channels are there, and it is a multiplexer and it is a demultiplexer. So what is the function of multiplexer? It receives n input lines and produces one output line. And what is the function of demultiplexer? It receives single input line and produces number of output lines. So what is the function of multiplexing? Frequency division multiplexing, as I have told, signals are generated by each sending device modulate different carrier frequencies, and these modulate signals are then combined into a single composite signal that can be transported by the link. Carrier frequencies are separated by sufficient bandwidth to the modulated signal. So let me go for the notes. This is frequency division multiplexing. So first one is, it is a analog technique. So next one is, it is a technique in which the available bandwidth of a single transmission medium is subdivided into several channels as shown in the figure. So this is the transmission medium, and it is a single transmission medium, but its bandwidth is divided into multiple number of channels. So next point is, the input signals are translated into frequency bands by using modulation techniques, and they are combined by a multiplexer to form a composite signal. But the next, the main aim of the FDM is to subdivide the available bandwidth into different frequency channels and allocate them to different devices. So next, we go for the advantages of FDM. So what are the advantages of FDM? FDM is used for analog signals, and FDM process is very simple and easy modulation. Next one is a large number of signals can be sent through an FDM simultaneously. That means in FDM the number of signals can be passed simultaneously from one location to another location or from sending node to receiving node. So FDM, FDM is used for analog signals because frequency relates to the analog signals. So next one is FDM process is very simple and easy modulation. Next one is a large number of signals can be sent through an FDM simultaneously. So what is the advantage? This is the main advantage, that is a large number of signals can be sent through an FDM simultaneously. That means a simultaneous transmission is possible in case of FDM, frequency division multiplexing. The name suggests that frequency division multiplexing. Okay. Next one is disadvantages of FDM. So what are the disadvantages? FDM technique is used only when low speed channels are required. So low speed channels are required, there we have to use the FDMs. But if we want to pass the data in a higher speed format, then FDM will not required in that situation. So that is the fault of FDM, or disadvantages or drawbacks of FDM. Next one is what? It requires a high bandwidth channel. It always requires a high bandwidth because whatever the bandwidth, that further divided or subdivided into among different channels. Okay, that's why high bandwidth is required. Why high bandwidth is required? Because in FDM technique, whatever the input signals came from different senders or different places, they are combined into a stream or a bond. Then they travel within the single transmission medium, and each and every channel must be separated while traveling by using the transmission medium. So the separation needs a higher bandwidth channel or a higher bandwidth inside the transmission medium while traveling the messages or signals, or passes the signals. So these are the drawbacks of FDM. So what are the drawbacks? Again, FDM technique is used only when low speed channels are required. That means it is only applicable for low speed transmission of data or signals, but it is not applicable in higher speed of data. Next one is it requires a high bandwidth channel. So what is high bandwidth, or why we are using the high bandwidth channel? Because the signals that comes from different places or different senders, they needed separate inside the transmission medium, or the transmission medium is again divided into different types of different categories to travel different types of signals or messages. That's why high bandwidth is required. So this is all about FDM. So this is the diagrammatic representation of FDM process. So these are the signals comes from different places. This is the modulator. This is the carrier frequencies. This is the wave, sine wave. It indicates the frequency. This is the carrier frequency 2, or this is the carrier frequency 3. And these are the three different types of signals. And these three different types of signals are combined into a single form. It is the function of multiplexer, because it unites the different input lines into a single output line. These are the input lines of different carrier frequencies: carrier frequency 1, carrier frequency 2, carrier frequency 3, and these are the carrier frequency waves, and they are comes from different frequencies. They united as a single output line. So this is the function of multiplexer, because multiplexer, what is the function of multiplexer? Multiplexer combines n input lines and produces one output line. Okay, so this is the FDM demultiplexing example. So what is the function of before going to discuss about FDM demultiplexing, we have to know that what is the function of demultiplexing. Demultiplexing allows us, it receives single output line or single output, then it produces and it transmits n number of outputs. So it receives single input and it produces number of outputs. So this is the diagrammatic representation. So in previous diagram, this is the previous diagram. Here number of carrier frequencies are there. They are combined into single format and single output line. And this is the number 2 diagram or demultiplexing diagram. Here whatever the multiplexing technique passes the data in a single transmission line or a single format, single output format, they are received in the demultiplexer. They are here. This is the demultiplexer, and the what is the function of demultiplexer? It should separate the single transmission of data into different frequencies or different formats or different formats. So this is separates in different formats. Okay. So this is the demultiplexing and this is multiplexing. Okay, this is the process of FDM process. Next we may go for WDM. So what is the WDM? It is another multiplexing technique. The full form of WDM is wavelength division multiplexing. So FDM means frequency division multiplexing. WDM means wavelength division multiplexing. So why we are using WDM? In WDM, or what is the function of WDM? In WDM, multiplexing and demultiplexing involves a optical fiber. So what is the, why we are using optical fiber, or what is the use of optical fiber here? Optical fiber is used as a transmission medium. Okay, so what is the use of optical fiber? Optical fiber is used as a transmission medium. They transmit through fiber optic channels using the WDM. Using the WDM, a multiplexer can be made to combine several input beams of lights, because fiber optics basically used for traveling the light signals from one location to another location. That's why a multiplexer can be made to combine several input beams of light in case of WDM, each containing a narrow band of frequencies into one output beam of a wider band of frequencies. and a demultiplexer can be made to reverse the process. So as I've told, so the WDM is used basically for traveling light signals. So if we want to travel light signals from one location to another location, then we have to use fiber optic cables. So fiber optic cables, what are the use of fiber optic cable? It is used as a transmission medium in WDM or wavelength division multiplexing to travel the light signals or light beams from one location to another location. So same here also we are using multiplexing and also demultiplexing. So multiplexing, here multiplexing, what does it? The multiplexing will combine n number of input light beams into a single light beam, and it passes through the optical fiber channel. When it reaches to the demultiplexer will separate the n number of light beams and passes it to the destination. Okay, let me go for the notes. This is the wavelength division multiplexing in shortcut format. We will say it WDM. So what is the first point? A wavelength division multiplexing is same as FDM, except that the optical signals are transmitted through the fiber optic cable. So here optical signal means these are the light signals. So light signals are transmitted through the fiber optic cable. So fiber optic cable, why we are using the fiber optic cable? Because fiber optic cable acts as a transmission medium between the sender and the receiver in case of wavelength division multiplexing. So next point is WDM is used on fiber optics to increase the capacity of single fiber. So it is basically used, why? It is used on fiber optics to increase the capacity of a single fiber. So next point is it is used to utilize the high data rate capability of fiber optic cable. In case of FDM, frequency division multiplexing, there is a drawback. What is that? It is only used for low signal qualities. That's why we are using WDM to pass in a high data rate to the destination end. That's why it is used to utilize the high data rate capability, because FDM, in case of FDM, that is only applicable for lower data rate. That's why we used wavelength division multiplexing or WDM to utilize the high data rate capability of fiber optic cable. Next one is, it is an analog multiplexing technique. So WDM is a analog multiple technique because here no digital transmission is required. That's why the light beams are known as also analog signals. That's why it is an analog multiple techniques. Next one is multiplexing and demultiplexing can be achieved by using a prism. So this is the device, so which is acts like a multiplexer as well as demultiplexer. In case of FDM, we are using the multiplexer and a demultiplexer, but in case of wavelength division multiplexing, because we are traveling here with, we are working here with light signals, that's why we are using prism as a multiplexer and in receiver side, prism is a demultiplexer. Okay, so this is all about wavelength division multiplexing. This is the diagrammatic representation of wave division multiplexing. So these are the signals. The symbol is known as lambda, lambda 1, lambda 2 and lambda 3. Lambda 1 plus lambda 2 plus lambda 3. These three signals are united together and passed through the fiber optic cable. So fiber optic cable is generally made for traveling the light signals from one location to another location. So this is the multiplexer, or we can say it as a prism, and it is also a demultiplexer. And here demultiplexer we are using as a prism, and this is the lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3. These are the signals, light signals or light beams. They are combined together by the multiplexer and passed by the transmission medium. Here we are using fiber optic cable, and after the transmission reaches the demultiplexer, it will again divide it into different type of signals, lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3. So what we are sending here, this is the receiver end. Okay, so this is all about wavelength division multiplexing. Okay, next we may go for time division multiplexing. So time division multiplexing, the shortcut name is TDM. So what is the use of TDM here? So FDM is used for carry different types of frequency signals or analog signals. Why we are using WDM? In case of WDM technique, we are using the light signals to travel from one location to another location. So what is the use of time division multiplexing, or what is the working of time division multiplexing here? It is a digital process, but the FDM and WDM are the analog process. But when we comes to the TDM, it is a digital process that allows, so time division multiplexing is a digital process that allows several connections to share the high bandwidth of a link. So why we are using TDM? TDM is a digital process that allows several connections to share the high bandwidth of a link. So here one word comes, that is time division. So that means the time is divided into different parts. That means that the total time is shared by the each connection which occupies by the link. That means time is shared by each connection which occupies a portion of time in the link. The data flow of each connection, it is the diagram, it is the data flow, and these are the datas they are transmitting from one location to another location or from one station to another station. So the data flow of each connection is divided into units. They are divided into single units. Okay, this is 1 2 3 4, this is 1 2 3 4, this is 1 2 3 4. So these are the units into units, and the link combines one unit of each connection to make a frame. What is that? So these are the datas, and the datas are united together by 3 units. This is 1 unit 1 2 3 4. This is 1 unit 1 2 3 4, and this is 1 unit 1 2 3 4. And these units are called as frames. These units are called as frames. That's why the total data flow of each connection is divided into units. This is 1 unit, this is again another unit, this is another unit, and the link combines, the total link combines unit of each connection to make a frame. The total these units are combined together inside the link to formation a frame. Another point is there. So what is the point? The size of the unit can be one or several bits. So it can be 1 bit or it can be several bits. Each and every unit should be 1 bit or it can be more than 1 bits. For n input connections, a frame is organized into a minimum of n time slots, each slot carrying 1 unit for each connection. Okay. So we may go for the notes. What is time division multiplexing? As I have told that it is a digital technique. In TDM technique, the total time available in the channel, within the channel or the transmission medium is distributed among different users. Okay. Therefore, each user is allocated with different time interval known as a time slot, at which data is to be transmitted by the sender. That means here a time slot will be, or the time slot will be fixed to the medium, and within that time slot the data must be travel from one location to another location, If the time slot expires, then the data will not be travel from one location to another location. So again, in time division multiplexing technique, the total time available in the channel is distributed among different users. So the total channel or transmission medium is divided into different users as shown in the diagram. This is the transmission medium. It is divided into multiple users. Therefore, each user is allocated with a different time interval known as the time slot. That means a time slot is provided to each user, at which time slot the data is to be transmitted by the sender. That means here sender 1 assign a time slot, sender 2 also assigns a time slot, sender 3 also assigns a time slot, as well as sender 4 also having a time slot. Within that time slot, they should transmit their data towards the receiver end. If the time slot will expire, it will automatically jump to the next station and it will say that you have to pass the data of your whatever you have the data you should be passed. Next point is a user takes control of the channel for a fixed amount of time. That means whatever the controlling is there, that will take by the user. Next point is in TDM, the signal is transmitted in the form of frames. That means here also, as I've told that the data units are frames, this is frames to transmit over the transmission medium. So in TDM, the signal is transmitted in the form of frames. Frames contain a cycle of time slots in which each frame contains one or more slots dedicated to each user. So again, there are two types of TDMs are there. What is synchronous TDM and asynchronous TDM? What do you mean by synchronous TDM? It is a technique in which time slot is pre-assigned to every device. That means a time slot is previously assigned to the each and every devices. They are connected to the transmission medium. And asynchronous TDM means it is dynamically allocates the time slots to the devices. That means if one system wants to transmit some data, then it should dynamically fix a time, and within that time that system will pass the messages towards the destination end. So this is the diagrammatic representation of synchronous time division multiplexing. So here these are the A3, A2, A1, B3, B2, B1, C3, C2, C1. These are the datas are taken from each line every time milliseconds or time seconds. And this is the multiplexer which combines the total datas, and then it will produces one output. Each frame is 3 time slots. Each time slot duration is T3 seconds. Okay, and this one is asynchronous TDM. Here, if one station wants to send the data, then others remains idle. Idle means they have to wait after the completion of first A system, then the B should be allowed to transmit the data. Okay. This is the transmission process of asynchronous TDM, and this is the transmission process of synchronous TDM. Okay. Thank you. Again, briefly, we may go through the topics. So, what is communication? Exchange of information between two devices is known as communication. What is a processor? The main function of a processor is to going on a work or execute a work in our computer system, or process a work in our computer system. Next, what is multiplexing? It is a technique used to combine and send the multiple data streams over a single medium. So multiplexing, the process of combining the data streams is known as multiplexing, and the device that combines the data streams, that is known as multiplexer. Okay, multiplexer is in shortcut form we have said that multiplexer is MUX. Okay, next, demultiplexing is achieved by using a device called as demultiplexer available at the receiving end. That means demultiplexer is available in the receiving end and multiplexer is available in the sending end. So why we are using multiplexing? The transmission medium is used to send the signal from sender to receiver. The medium can only have one signal at a time. If there are multiple signals to share one medium, then the medium must be divided in such a way that each signal is given some portion of the available bandwidth. Okay, that's why we are using the multiplexer. Okay, this is the example of multiplexer. Okay, this is the diagrammatic representation of multiplexer and multiplexing technique, and this is called a multiplexer and this is demultiplexer. Here multiplexer receives an input lines and it produces one output line, and the demultiplexer at the receiver end, it receives one input line and produces a number of output lines. These are the advantages of multiplexing, and this is the category of multiplexing. This is the FDM. So in case of FDM, different carrier frequency waves are combined together and this shares the common bandwidth inside the transmission medium and pass towards the demultiplexer. This is the FDM technique. So it is a analog technique. These are the advantages and disadvantages of FDM, and this is the process of FDM. This is the demultiplexing process, and this is the multiplexing process. And then we may go for WDM. So why we are using the WDM? WDM is used for high data rate transmission of light signals. When we want to travel some light signals, then we use WDM. And what is the transmission medium here? The transmission medium we are using here is, what is that? Fiber optic cable. Okay. So, and what we are using as a multiplexer and demultiplexer here for light beams, we are using prism. Okay. This is the wavelength division multiplexing, and this is the diagram. As I have told that this is a multiplexer and this is the multiplexer. What is the symbol indicates? This is the lambda symbol, and this is the fiber optic cable used as a transmission medium. Okay, and these are the prisms. So that's why it is indicates that prisms in wavelength division multiplexing and demultiplexing. That means multiplexer and demultiplexer are the prisms. Prisms are used as multiplexer as well as demultiplexer. Okay. So next and last, we are discussing about the TDM. So here the time slot is given to the each system, and within that time slot each system should pass the data towards the receiving end. Okay, so TDM is of two types, that is synchronous and asynchronous. In case of synchronous, a time slot is previously assigned, but in case of asynchronous transmission, the time slot allocates by dynamically. That means if one system wants to send the data, then the other system should be wait till the first system's transmission overs. Okay. This is the diagrammatic representation of synchronous time division multiplexing, and this is the diagrammatic representation of asynchronous time division multiplexing. So this is all about today's topic, that is communication processor. Thank you.